Hello, fellow English learner. If you've ever felt that studying is a difficult and frustrating struggle, you're in the right place. In this friendly guide, Alex shares a personal journey and a simple but powerful secret weapon that makes learning more effective and enjoyable. Get ready to discover the Pomodoro technique, a time management method that can help you focus better, beat procrastination, and finally see the progress you've been hoping for.
Hello, my name is Alex, and just like you, I am on a journey to become better at English. For a long time, I struggled. I wanted to learn, but studying felt so difficult. Sometimes I would study for hours, but at the end of the day, I felt like I remembered nothing. I was tired, my head hurt, and I was not making much progress. It was frustrating. Then, one day, I discovered a secret weapon. It's not a magic pill or an expensive course. It's a simple time management method that changed everything for me. It's called the Pomodoro technique. This technique has helped me and millions of people around the world to study more effectively, stay focused, and actually enjoy the learning process. And today, I want to share it with you. I will explain what it is, how you can use it for your English studies, and I will share stories of other learners, just like us, who are using it to achieve their language goals. Are you ready to change the way you study English forever? Let's begin.
What is this Pomodoro thing? First, let's talk about the name. Pomodoro is the Italian word for tomato. That seems a bit strange, right? Why name a study technique after a tomato? The story is quite simple and fun. The creator of this method, an Italian university student named Francesco Cirillo, used a kitchen timer shaped like a tomato to manage his study time. He would wind up his little tomato timer and work intensely until it rang. So he named his new method after his trusty timer. That's it. No complicated reason, just a simple tomato timer. So, what is the technique? The Pomodoro technique is based on a very simple idea. Our brains work best in short, focused bursts. It's difficult for anyone to concentrate for hours and hours without a break. We get tired, we get distracted, and we stop learning effectively. The Pomodoro technique breaks your study time into small, manageable pieces. Here is the basic structure. 1. Choose a task. This is the one thing you will focus on. For us, it could be learn 10 new vocabulary words, or do one grammar exercise. 2. Set a timer for 25 minutes. This 25-minute period is 1 Pomodoro. 3. Work on your task with 100% focus. This is the most important rule. For these 25 minutes, you do only your chosen task. No phone, no social media, no talking to friends, just you and your English study. 4. When the timer rings, stop working. Stop immediately. It doesn't matter if you are in the middle of a sentence, stop. 5. Put a check mark on a piece of paper. This feels really good. It shows you that you have completed one focused session. 6. Take a short break. Your break is about 5 minutes long. During this break, you must do something completely different from your task. Stand up, stretch, get a glass of water, look out the window. Don't think about English. 7. Repeat the process. After your 5-minute break, you start another 25-minute Pomodoro. 8. After 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break. Once you have 4 check marks on your paper, you have earned a longer break. This break should be between 15 and 30 minutes. This is a real break. You can check your phone, have a snack, or listen to a song. After this long break, you can start a new set of 4 Pomodoros if you want to continue studying. That's the whole system. It sounds so simple, right? Maybe it sounds too simple. But trust me, its power is in its simplicity. It fights procrastination, that feeling of, I'll do it later. It helps you focus deeply, and it prevents you from getting tired and overwhelmed.
Why does this work so well for English learners? Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a huge project. You need to learn thousands of words, understand complicated grammar rules, practice pronunciation, improve your listening, and so much more. When you think about everything you need to do, it can feel impossible. This is where the Pomodoro technique becomes our best friend. 1. It breaks down a huge goal into small steps. Instead of thinking, I need to become fluent in English, you think, I need to complete one 25-minute Pomodoro on phrasal verbs. That feels much easier, right? You are not trying to climb the whole mountain in one day. You are just taking one small, confident step. Each Pomodoro is a small victory. At the end of the day, you might have 4, 6, or even 8 check marks on your paper. You can look at them and say, wow, I was really productive today. This feeling of accomplishment is very motivating. 2. It fights distractions. Our world is full of distractions. Your phone buzzes with a new message. You remember you need to check an email. A new video pops up on YouTube. These small interruptions kill our focus. The main rule of the Pomodoro technique is 0 interruptions. For 25 minutes, you give yourself permission to ignore the world. You turn your phone on silent and put it in another room. You close all the other tabs on your computer. You tell your family or roommates that you need 25 minutes of quiet time. It's just a short period, so it's easy to do. This intense focus means you learn more in 25 minutes than you would in an hour of distracted half-studying. It makes studying a habit. Because a Pomodoro is so short, it's easy to start. It's much easier to convince yourself to study for just 25 minutes than for 2 hours. When something is easy to start, you are more likely to do it regularly, and consistency is the key to learning a language. Doing a few Pomodoros every day is much more effective than studying for 8 hours only on Sunday. It helps you build a strong, consistent study habit. It gives your brain time to rest. The short breaks are not for being lazy, they are a very important part of the process. When you are learning something new, your brain needs time to process the information. The 5-minute breaks allow your brain to relax and get ready for the next piece of information. The longer breaks help you to consolidate what you've learned and prevent burnout. You will finish your study session feeling energized, not exhausted. Real examples from learners around the globe. This isn't just a theory. Thousands of English learners are using this technique right now to make real progress. Let's meet a few of them. These are stories I've collected from friends and online language communities. Meet Hiroshi from Tokyo, Japan. Hiroshi is a software engineer. His goal is to improve his English for international video calls at work. His biggest problem is speaking. He feels nervous and his pronunciation is not clear. Here is how Hiroshi uses the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro 1. Speaking. Hiroshi finds a 5-minute video of a native English speaker on YouTube. For 25 minutes, he practices shadowing. This means he listens to a sentence and then tries to repeat it exactly, copying the intonation, rhythm, and pronunciation. He records himself on his phone so he can compare. 5-minute break. He gets up, walks around his apartment, and drinks some green tea. He doesn't listen to English.
Pomodoro 2, vocabulary. He uses a flashcard app like Anki or Quizlet. For 25 minutes, he reviews vocabulary related to his job. Words like deployment, user interface, and bug report. He says each word out loud. 5-minute break. He does some quick stretching exercises. Pomodoro 3, listening. He listens to a podcast for business English. He doesn't try to understand every word. He just focuses on getting the main idea for 25 minutes. 5-minute break. He looks at photos of his last holiday to relax his mind. Pomodoro 4, grammar. He works on one specific grammar point that he finds difficult, like the present perfect continuous. He reads the rule and then does exercises from a textbook. Long break. After his 4th Pomodoro, he takes a 30-minute break to watch a funny show online in Japanese to completely relax. Hiroshi told me, "Before Pomodoro, I would try to study for 2 hours after work. I was always tired. Now I do 4 Pomodoros. It's still about 2 hours of study, but it feels completely different. I am focused and I can see my speaking getting better every week." Meet Maria from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Maria is a university student studying art history. She needs to read many academic articles in English. Her problem is that she reads very slowly and gets distracted easily. This is Maria's Pomodoro plan. Pomodoro 1, reading. Maria chooses one academic article. She tells herself, "My only goal for this Pomodoro is to read as much as I can with focus." She puts her phone away and just reads. She doesn't stop to look up every single new word. She tries to understand the meaning from the context. She underlines words she wants to check later. 5-minute break. She waters her plants and listens to some music. Pomodoro 2, vocabulary. Now she goes back to the pages she just read. For this 25-minute session, she looks up the words she underlined. She writes them in her vocabulary notebook with a definition and an example sentence. 5-minute break. She makes herself a small cup of strong Brazilian coffee. Pomodoro 3, writing. To make sure she understood the article, she spends 1 Pomodoro writing a short summary of what she read. This helps her practice her writing skills and remember the information. Long break. After 3 Pomodoros, she usually takes a long break to chat with her friends. Maria says, "The Pomodoro technique saved my degree. I used to spend a whole day reading an article because I was always on social media. Now I can finish an article and understand it deeply in just 2 or 3 Pomodoros. It's like a superpower for concentration."
Meet Ahmed from Cairo, Egypt. Ahmed is preparing for the IELTS exam because he wants to study in the UK. He needs to improve all his skills, but he finds grammar and writing the most challenging. He has a full-time job, so he only has time to study in the evenings. Ahmed's evening study plan looks like this. Pomodoro 1, IELTS writing task 1. He looks at a graph or chart from a practice test. He spends the entire 25 minutes planning his answer and writing the introduction and the first paragraph. A 5-minute break. He goes to the kitchen and helps his mother for a few minutes. Pomodoro 2, IELTS writing task 1. He continues writing.
He focuses on finishing the essay in this 25-minute block. He doesn't worry too much about mistakes. The goal is to finish. A 5-minute break. He listens to one of his favorite songs. Pomodoro 3. Reviewing. He spends this Pomodoro reading his essay. He checks for grammar mistakes, spelling errors, and ways to improve his vocabulary. He uses a red pen to make corrections. A 5-minute break. He checks his messages quickly. Pomodoro 4. Grammar. He focuses on a grammar topic that he made mistakes on in his writing. For example, using articles, a, an, the. He uses a grammar book and does practice exercises. A long break. He relaxes and watches a football match with his father. Ahmed explains, "The exam is all about time. The Pomodoro technique is perfect training. It teaches me to focus and write quickly, just like in the real test. I feel much more confident now." These stories show that it doesn't matter what your goal is or what language skill you want to improve. The Pomodoro technique can be adapted to fit your needs.
How to plan your English Pomodoro session. A step-by-step guide. Okay, you are feeling inspired. You want to try it. But what should you actually do in your 25 minutes? Just saying, "I will study English," is too general. You need a clear, specific goal for each Pomodoro. A good Pomodoro task is one that can be completed or where significant progress can be made in 25 minutes. Here are some ideas for different skills. You can mix and match them to create your perfect study plan. For building your vocabulary, the flashcard Pomodoro. Use a set of physical flashcards or an app. Spend 25 minutes actively reviewing them. Don't just look at them. Say the word and the definition out loud. Create a new sentence with the word. The word hunting Pomodoro. Take an English article, a blog post, or a page from a book. Set your timer for 25 minutes, and your goal is to read and find 5 to 7 new words that seem useful. Write them down in a notebook. The notebook Pomodoro. In this session, you work with your vocabulary notebook. For 25 minutes, you can review old words, or you can take the new words you found and write definitions, example sentences, synonyms, or even draw a picture to help you remember. For mastering grammar, the one rule Pomodoro. Choose one and only one grammar rule to focus on. Maybe it's the difference between for and since, or how to use the third conditional. Spend the 25 minutes reading the explanation in a grammar book and looking at examples. The exercise Pomodoro. After you have studied the rule, use the next Pomodoro to do practice exercises. Try to complete a whole exercise page in 25 minutes. Don't check the answers yet. The correction Pomodoro. Now spend 25 minutes checking your answers. For every mistake you made, try to understand why it was a mistake. Write down the correct sentence. This is a very important step for learning. For improving your reading skills, the focused reading Pomodoro. Choose a book, a news article, or anything you enjoy reading. Your goal is simple. Read without stopping and without distractions for 25 minutes. The aim is to get used to reading in English for a sustained period. The active reading Pomodoro. In this session, you read and interact with the text. For 25 minutes, you read and use a highlighter to mark interesting vocabulary or beautiful sentences. You can also write short questions or comments in the margins. For sharpening your listening skills, the podcast Pomodoro. Choose a podcast or a YouTube video that is right for your level. Listen for 25 minutes. The first time, just listen
and try to get the general idea. The transcription Pomodoro. Listen to the same audio again. This time, have a notebook and pen. Listen to one sentence, pause the audio, and try to write down exactly what you heard. Do this for 25 minutes. It's difficult, but it's one of the best ways to improve your listening. The shadowing Pomodoro. As we learned from Hiroshi, this is great for both listening and speaking. Listen to a short piece of audio and repeat it, copying the pronunciation and intonation of the speaker. Spend a full 25 minutes doing this. You will feel silly at first, but it works wonders. For boosting your speaking confidence. The talk to yourself Pomodoro. This might sound crazy, but it is incredibly effective. Choose a topic. For example, what I did yesterday, or my favorite movie. Set the timer for 25 minutes and just talk about it out loud. Describe things in your room. Explain your opinion on something. The goal is to keep talking and not worry about mistakes. The recording Pomodoro. Do the same thing as above, but this time record yourself with your phone. In the next Pomodoro, you can listen to the recording. You will notice your common mistakes and areas where you can improve. The language exchange Pomodoro. If you have a language exchange partner, you can use the technique with them. You speak English for 25 minutes, then you take a break, and then maybe they speak your language for 25 minutes. For perfecting your writing skills, the brainstorming Pomodoro. You have a writing topic, for example, the advantages and disadvantages of social media. Spend one 25-minute Pomodoro just brainstorming ideas. Write down every idea you have. Don't worry about grammar or spelling. Just get your ideas on paper. The drafting Pomodoro. Now, take your ideas and start writing. Your goal for this Pomodoro is to write 1 or 2 paragraphs. Just write freely. This is called the draft. The editing Pomodoro. After you have written your text, let it rest for a bit. Then start an editing Pomodoro. Read your text carefully and look for mistakes. Improve your sentence structure. Check your spelling and punctuation.
Tips, tricks, and common problems, and how to solve them. The Pomodoro technique is simple, but it's not always easy. When you first start, you might face some challenges. Don't worry, this is normal. Here are some common problems and my advice on how to handle them. Problem 1. I get distracted during my 25 minutes. This is the most common problem. We are so used to being interrupted. The solution? You have to be strict with yourself, especially at the beginning. The 25 minutes must be sacred. Before you start your timer, prepare your distraction-free zone. Your phone, the biggest enemy of focus. Don't just put it on silent, put it face down on your desk. Or even better, put it in a different room. Out of sight, out of mind. Your computer. Close all unnecessary tabs. No Facebook, no email, no news websites. If you are using an online dictionary, keep only that tab open. There are even apps and browser extensions like Stay Focused or Freedom that can block distracting websites for a set amount of time. People. If you live with other people, tell them about your plan. Say, I'm going to study with full focus for 25 minutes. Please don't interrupt me unless it's a real emergency. Most people will understand and respect your time. What if a thought pops into your head? Like, oh, I must remember to buy milk. Keep a piece of paper next to you. Write down the thought,
buy milk, and then immediately go back to your task. You can deal with it during your break. Problem 2. 25 minutes feels too long or too short. The 25 5-minute structure is the classic Pomodoro, but it is not a magic number that works perfectly for everyone and for every task. The solution: experiment. The main idea is to work in focused blocks and take regular breaks. If 25 minutes feels too long and you can't stay focused, try starting with a shorter time, maybe a 15-minute work session and a 3-minute break. This is perfectly fine. After a week, you can try to increase it to 20 minutes. The goal is to build your focus muscle over time. If 25 minutes feels too short and you feel like you are just getting into the flow when the timer rings, you could try a longer session, like 45 minutes of work and a 10-minute break. However, be careful. The power of the Pomodoro is often in its shortness. The deadline of the timer ringing soon makes you work faster and more efficiently. I suggest you stick with 25 minutes for at least a week before you decide to change it. You might be surprised. Problem 3. What should I do during my breaks? You finish a Pomodoro, you're proud of yourself, and you have 5 minutes. What now? It is very tempting to grab your phone and scroll through Instagram. This is a big mistake. The solution: the purpose of the break is to rest your brain. Looking at social media is not restful. It fills your brain with more information and can make it harder to focus on the next Pomodoro. Your break should be a real mental break. Move your body. Stand up, stretch, walk around the room, do some jumping jacks. Physical movement is great for your brain. Rest your eyes. Look out the window and focus on something far away. If you have been reading or looking at a screen, your eyes need a break. Hydrate and refuel. Get a glass of water, make a cup of tea, or grab a healthy snack like a piece of fruit. A small, mindless task can be very refreshing. For your longer 15 to 30-minute breaks, you have more freedom. You can check your phone then, listen to music, or chat with a friend. But try to protect your short 5-minute breaks and keep them screen-free.
Problem 4. I always want to finish my sentence or my task, even when the timer rings. The rule is to stop immediately when the timer rings. This can feel unnatural. The solution? Follow the rule. Stopping in the middle of a sentence can actually be a good thing. It creates a small amount of mental tension. You will be eager to get back to your task after the break to finish your thought. It makes starting the next Pomodoro much easier because you know exactly what you need to do. It's a little psychological trick that keeps you motivated.
Tools for your Pomodoro journey. You don't need any fancy equipment to start. All you need is a timer. A kitchen timer, the classic choice. A physical timer that you can wind up is great because the ticking sound can help some people focus and there are no other distractions on it. The tomato timer is optional, of course. Your phone's timer. This is the easiest option because you always have it with you. Just make sure you put your phone in Do Not Disturb mode so that notifications don't interrupt your session. Websites and apps. There are many great digital tools designed specifically for the Pomodoro technique. They often include a timer, a task list, and they track how many Pomodoros you complete each day. Some popular ones are Tomato Timer, a very simple and free website. PomoFocus, another clean, easy-to-use web-based timer. Forest, a beautiful app where you plant a virtual tree when you start a session. If you leave the app to use your phone, your tree dies. It's very motivating. A simple pen and paper are also your best friends. Use them to write down your task list for the day and to make those satisfying check marks after each completed Pomodoro. There's something very powerful about physically tracking your progress. Your first Pomodoro challenge. I have given you a lot of information, but information is useless without action. So I want to give you a challenge. Your challenge is to try the Pomodoro technique for just one day. Don't think about doing it forever. Just commit to trying it for one study session. Here's a simple plan to follow. 1. Choose your time. When will you study today? Maybe this evening after dinner. Schedule it. 2. Choose your tasks. Decide on 4 specific Pomodoro tasks. Be very clear. For example, Task 1. Learn 10 new vocabulary words about travel using Quizlet. Task 2. Watch a 10-minute YouTube video in English and write a 3-sentence summary. Task 3. Do grammar exercises on the past simple from my textbook, pages 42 to 43. Task 4. Write a short paragraph about my plans for the weekend. Prepare your space. Get your books, notebook, and pen ready. Close all other tabs on your computer. Put your phone in another room. Start your first Pomodoro. Set your timer for 25 minutes and begin Task 1. Focus completely. Follow the system. When the timer rings, stop. Take a 5-minute break. No phone. Then start the next Pomodoro. After your 4th one, take a nice long break. You've earned it. At the end of your session, look at what you have achieved. You probably accomplished more than you usually do in the same amount of time. And more importantly, notice how you feel. Do you feel tired and stressed? Or do you feel energized and proud of your work? I believe you will be surprised by the result. This technique is not just about studying more. It's about studying smarter. It's about respecting our brain's natural rhythm. It's about building a healthy, sustainable, and even enjoyable relationship with learning English. Your journey to fluency is made of thousands of small steps. The Pomodoro technique helps you take those steps, one focused 25-minute tomato at a time. I use it every day, and it has truly changed my life as a language learner. I know it can do the same for you. Good luck and happy studying. You can do this.
And that's everything you need to get started. You now have a simple, powerful tool to make your English studies more effective and a lot less stressful. Remember, the goal isn't to study for endless hours, but to make the time you do study truly count. So go ahead and accept the challenge. Set that first 25-minute timer and see how it feels. Your journey to English fluency is built one small, focused step or one tomato at a time. You've got this.